What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the All in Effect with your host, Dave Pookie, and my guy, Miles Raposo. What's up, Miles?
What's going on, brother?
Guys, as always, this episode is brought to you by All In Performance, which will be, I don't want to say coming soon anymore. Guys, we're having a little hiccup with some bank account stuff, which we should be, I would like to say this week, because I'm not going to say coming soon anymore. Oh, shit.
Pop a little multivitamin. Why not?
Let's go.
Get ready.
Let's go. But I can't wait, guys. It's coming in. It's coming in. Hopefully this week, the shop will be live so we can start placing orders and getting the products into your hand. And I'm fucking so fired up. So
100%, man. Some things are just out of your control. So we're just rolling with the punches. It'll be here soon.
And it's, guys, for anybody out there, young, striving entrepreneurs, it's a great reminder that, show me a problem and I'll find a solution, because that's what entrepreneurship is. That's what going after your dreams is. And there's going to be endless problems, but you're going to come up with endless solutions. And that's just part of the journey. So here we are. And yeah, let's fucking go.
Let's go, brother. So what's on the menu today? We're going to get into fitness today.
Yeah, we're going to switch it up a little bit today. I feel like.
Yeah. We've been getting into some pretty deep, raw, real, topics. I think every week we're really diving in, and ultimately that's what this is all about, right? Because we've said it time and time again. The external is a byproduct of the internal work first. You need to do that work internally, or that all that external, all of it's really just meaningless. It's if you're sitting there flawed morally, if you haven't done the internal work, it's worth nothing, man. But with that being said, you're not going to earn any of that external, any of it. You're not going to earn the body. You're not going to earn the material possessions. You're not going to earn any of the things without hard work and dedication. And you and I come from very different backgrounds, right? Dave's, competed professionally in Thailand. I've been to Thailand a couple times. Savage. Brutal. I would love to hear about that today. Kind of your journey, what that was like going down there. What was it? AKA?
I went to AKA. Yeah, I went to about 3 different gyms.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Go ahead.
No, just to hear about it, right? I think for the viewers and for people to listen and understand that, it doesn't happen overnight. We have the All In Effect is our performance coaching program. We dive into everything from mindset, habits, goals, and ultimately creating, discipline through the training program and through nutritional coaching as well. But it's, people think it happens overnight, or, Dave and I can go into a gym any day right now and just chuck 3 plates on it and just bench it for reps. And it's like, that doesn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? I've gone through injuries. I've had back surgery. And it's that foundation has been built through decades of hard work. And we're gonna kind of get into our backgrounds and the training and competing that we've done in our lives, and really our experience that we're going to be delivering to you, should you choose to work with us.
Yeah, man, you nailed it. And it was kind of something like, about just talking about being raw and real. And I think that's something we pride ourselves on, because a lot of times I wasn't, I would say, really, in my life, and I lacked self-worth because I did that. And yeah, just being a man of my word and value, and talking about how we always talk about we just, like you said, fitness was everything, but it wasn't everything. My mind wasn't right. I put fitness over everything. And that's what, that quote the other day, what was it? A lot of people are out there fixing their bodies, but not a lot of people are out there fixing their souls.
Boom.
And just to remind you that when you listen, in your life, that peace of mind is the greatest currency in the world. And when you're real with yourself, and you're real with your demons, and you're real with your flaws, and you can accept yourself better and be more realistic and real and raw. And that's what my main goal here. I used to be afraid, afraid of putting myself out there, but I know I can speak for both Miles and myself. When you're real, you inspire other people to do the same, and
Totally,
I've fucked up
brother.
a million times in this journey.
Yeah.
And just talking about Thailand, let's just jump right into it. First of all, the hardest training I've done in my life, I'm 36 now, has been my jiu-jitsu journey, just on my body. But I started working out when I was 16. I got expelled in high school, and I was a pretty good hockey player. I got sent off to a house arrest school, and the gym was my savior. Like literally, I was in one of these like halfway houses with all these kids, and I always felt like I was built for more. I always knew I was, but I was in my own way for years, and started working out. That was one requirement. It was the only thing I was really allowed to do. I had to go home. I was just doing crazy shit. I was eating packs of hot dogs when I was 16 because I was reading protein labels, and I had this allowance at this halfway house I was in. It was crazy. Anyway, but I started fucking working out. And guys, when you're listening to this, and Miles, like when I consider myself an OG in the fitness game, 20 years, like Miles said, and guys, I always tell Miles that when you're talking about yourself, I am bragging. If you should brag and like your own life, if you work hard, there's nothing wrong with that. It's confidence because you can inspire people to do the same. So when Miles and we talk about like, and we'll get into this about like, the coaches in the industry and the world, like I've been, and all the instant gratification that comes with fitness. Like I've been working out for 20 years, 20. And I'm talking like I took about maybe 6 months off when I partied my face off when I was 20. I inherited like 40 grand, blew it all in 8 months, had the time of my life. Honestly, in my days of drinking, that I actually did have a lot of fun that trip. Um, but
For
they were
sure.
short.
That's another part too, man. We've said it
Yes.
before is like,
Yes.
even throughout the chaos, right? We wouldn't have carried on down that road of
Yes.
addiction if there wasn't some good times. Like,
Yes.
don't get me
Yes.
wrong, man. There were some good times when you were young and you were out, and you woke up in the morning and you had a
No
blast.
responsibilities. No
You're out,
responsibilities.
no responsibilities. You're young. You're out. You're in high school. You're getting lit up. You're getting that attention. You're out chasing tail. You name it, man. It's like you're having a good time, dude. And then eventually, it's not so fun anymore. You start to grow up, and it's like, man, you're not a kid anymore. And
Well,
it's
when I think about it, when we talk about it, I think it's still like that inner child in me saying like I had a really good time. Because honestly, when I think about it, a lot of the times, even when those earlier days in Australia, I was still running from that never good enough feeling when I would drink. I needed that alcohol. And when I would have like fucking 6 drinks, I never had a hard time getting girls when I was younger. And I ran from it. Even on that trip to Australia, I always look at when I was drinking, I was never my true self. I always became someone different. Like the bad ego came out of me, the
yeah.
not the not that healthy ego. Cause there is like ego is an odd word, like, and the guy that like, actually, it was ego, not confidence. And it was a false confidence. And yeah, that's where I started the journey, man. And 20 years, man, I've opened gyms. I've owned gyms, built, sold gyms. I've been training people for 12 years now. I started jiu-jitsu when I was 21. That's been a lifesaver for me. And I
Mhm.
still actively, well, I competed last April. So it's been coming up on a year since my last competition, which I'm excited to get into. And yeah, the whole fitness, I've seen and you know what? This is a great topic because something I wanted to get into with you, Miles, is how many fads I've seen, and over 20 years, the tried, tested, and true things that works to this day are the foundations. And and everyone's looking for the easy way or
Yeah, the quick way, the new thing,
yeah,
whatever it is, man. I was scrolling through fuck whatever it was, and up comes this like hydrogen water bottle. Like you can press it and it sends some sort of like electric current and adds another hydrogen atom. But then they've got like these AI bots doing voiceovers on like reputable individuals. So you got like Joe Rogan or like some like reputable, some sort of like, a guy with a PhD who can speak on this, but it's AI doing a voiceover and they're trying to like hook people. And there's always this new fad, and we see it, we see it all the time, right? People coming in, they want to try the new thing, whatever it is. I've been caught up in it. I've tried some things that have worked for me when I'm 6'2", like I'm like 245 right now. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't for I'm a bigger guy. And when I was fighting in amateur boxing, anything over 201 was super heavyweight. And there was no weight cap on that. So I was fighting anybody. If I was 202, I could be fighting a guy, 260, 270. So I always wanted to stay under 201 and I wanted to
yeah,
stay around my fight weight. So I wasn't doing some sort of, rapid weight cut, days out from my bout. And so like I did intermittent fasting for a while and I did that for like 2 years religiously and it did work for me. I think there are certain things that do work and they're tried, tested and true. But there's, man, you like we were talking right before we got on here with the whole the Liver King thing or whatever. Like people are going to hook you because people are greedy and they want to find a way to make money, man.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is just stick to the fundamentals, stick to the basics. If you eat real foods, single ingredient foods, potatoes, rice, meat, fit, like you eat real food, it's going to serve you well.
Well, it's, like you said, the money thing, man. Like these people talking about that kale is going to send to, like, dude, if you, and don't get me wrong, I'm not preaching one word. All I'm saying is whatever grows in your fuck, if you could just live on a piece of land and grow and kill whatever's there, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Sign me up to wherever that is. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously in today's day and age, right? But it's just like, and the thing is, everyone out there, if something is easy, first off, in a training realm of fitness, like if you're looking for the easy way in any area of life, you're never gonna get a long lasting result ever.
Mhm.
It doesn't
Mhm.
work that way.
I know.
I don't know,
Yeah.
the higher powers that may be have designed it that way, but that's how fucking life works, man. If you're looking for the easy fix, number one, it'll never last. Number two, you'll never value it, so it'll never last. There's a million reasons why it will never fucking last. You don't
And
cherish it.
the bottom line, Dave, is like you don't want it to be easy. All of you guys that are looking for the easy route, that's not where the character is built. If it was just given to you, you're not going to appreciate it. It's not going to be fulfilling. It's not going to be rewarding. It's through the struggle, it's through the hardship, and it's through the challenges and overcoming them that you build the character, and the fulfillment and the confidence is built on that. So if it was easy, if having a six pack was easy, everybody would do it. It comes from discipline. And that's why when you are in shape, it feels good because it takes hard work. And people, and everyone, you name it, dude, everyone's looking for the next pill, the next fad, the next whatever it is. And people just, you need to accept, man, it's going to take some effort. It's going to take hard work, consistency, discipline.
Well, the self work is in the work. The self work is in doing the work. Like this last week, we've been like, and I'm up on a strict schedule now. And
Yeah, me
don't,
too. We
and
both been
you
dialing it
will
in.
you will fall off. You will fucking have over the 20 years. Holy shit, have I had some hurdles in my life? And I've taken time, but like you feel. There is no denying that you feel significantly better when you show up every day for yourself and you do the hard stuff. It's
Absolutely.
you feel this. There's this underlying sense of achievement that you've been actually putting in the work and that you should be. And it's honestly the crazy part is it's not that fucking hard. It's really
Totally.
not. Like that's
Yeah.
the crazy part. Once you get that routine in, you actually get addicted to the development of yourself. You're like, wow, I can do this. I can
Totally.
really do this.
What we've talked about is through stacking wins daily, that builds the confidence, right? And once you do those things daily that are difficult, you build confidence in that. You feel good about yourself. You start understanding that you're capable of finishing difficult tasks. And through that you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to gain confidence and you're going to be able to go out and face different challenges head on. And know that you don't miss when you do things, when you set your mind to them. That's one thing for me, man, that over the years is like there have been some pretty difficult things that have come up for me, but I know that no matter what it is, man, if I genuinely set my mind to it and I give it my best, man, I succeed. I really do, man. And that's why I am confident. I am confident in myself, and it has only come through overcoming hardship time and time again, man, and putting ourselves in difficult situations. So I think that's a great time to kind of like dive into, taking off to Thailand, going to AKA, doing the training. Like I remember watching videos of you. We grew up together, man. You were a savage. We played football together. I remember you literally like choke slamming people on the football field. Like I said, like you were a savage, dude. You would throw people. You weren't tackling people. You were picking them up and power bombing them.
Hey, I
Like,
played 1 year. I played 1 year of football. I got
I remember.
second most tackles in Double A varsity. That was actually a stat
Yeah,
on that. I
dude.
remember looking up at um, but dude,
Yeah.
like honestly, it sounds crazy, man. And this is gonna sound weird. Like, yeah, going to Thailand and training was like savage. But I'm just like the older I get, the more savage thing is just like never quitting, man. I've never like, honestly, because you could go to Thailand for fucking 5 months. You could do Muay Thai for 2 years. You could do, you know what I'm saying? It's the longevity of being in the industry and the game that I pride myself on. And
Yeah.
still, being able to go into any gym and honestly, whether it's kickboxing or grappling, and I'm one of the best guys in the gym. I never fought as much as I wanted but you know what? Now I look at it, did I don't even know, man. Like
And tell
maybe I
people
didn't
where you
compete as
are.
much as I would have liked to in MMA. But what's that?
Tell people where you are, man. Like where has it led you? Where are you right now? Where are you training? What gym are you coaching at?
Sorry, cut out a little bit. Oh yeah, yeah. The journey has led me to, man. I live in Los Angeles, living my dream. I teach at Unbreakable Performance, great group of guys, and really just passing on my knowledge. Because yeah, like it was savage training in Thailand, but I tell people this every day. The most savage thing you can do is become you know the version of you truly want without giving a fuck what other people think. And it's a completely different topic because I found, honestly, for me, the working out wasn't that hard. Really. It
Mhm.
honestly wasn't. And it's a total different look on it. Like, sure, like I loved hard shit. Like, I was always in jujitsu. You ask anybody if I'm an easy round, I was always a dog. I loved the
Yep.
dog hard rounds, but like, maybe like that was easy for me, honestly. Like it was tiring on my body and all that stuff, but all this, like, the body can be bulletproof if the mind isn't, man. That was tougher for me. And that's more valuable for me because I mean, there's guys in fighting, man, in the gym and like that are great in the gym, but their minds are lost, man. So they never compete well. And and I found that the training was the easy part. Honestly, the training was easier for
That
me.
was for me too, Dave. That was where when it came to for
Crazy
boxing.
concept though, right? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
crazy, like how we're talking about, like you're like, and like you're in the army and the amateur boxing, like I don't know, maybe it's something internally in us that facing myself in the mirror was way harder than any workout or training session I've ever done in my life.
Well, we buried our demons with physical fitness. I've always done that, man, from a young age. And we talked about, when I came down to Seattle, I talked about my childhood. I had gone through, it's hard for me, man, because I've been deployed to Afghanistan and seen real
Hmm.
poverty. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah.
seen real hardship, real poverty. Like you'd have, young children coming over to pick up our brass casings because they would stamp it down into jewelry and sell it in a market. Like, kids with missing limbs because they've stepped on mines or IEDs, like real hardship. So for me to sit here and say that I've been through, my life was tough, like
Hmm.
in perspective, it wasn't
Yeah.
that fucking. I've had a great life, a
Hmm.
phenomenal life. I'm absolutely blessed. But, I was abused as a kid and like I've always kind of like from a young age, sports were always important. After high school, like I hated school academically. It was always about being the life of the party, getting that external validation. And then right after high school, I was like, okay, cool. Like I like being physically fit. Oh, I found a pamphlet in the career counselor's office for the Canadian Armed Forces. And this like dude in his combats is going over an obstacle course. And I'm like, this looks badass. Like I can do that shit. I'm gonna go tear this up, and I did, man. I went there and I ate it up, dude. I had prepared myself for months. I was training religiously. I went in there fitter than like top of my class, man, top of my course, and ate it up. But that dog inside of me, man, has always been there, always, dude. And that work ethic, because it was, I was burying a lot of my shit, uh, for a long time, and I did that for a very long time, man, until I couldn't take it anymore, dude. It was from the military to special forces selection to competing in boxing, competing in CrossFit, getting my spine fused and sitting around unable to compete anymore, unable to go and bury my demons with physical fitness, that I started getting lost and burying my demons showing their face, and just burying my sorrows in substances and chaos, and ultimately losing myself, right? So fitness is a very important, I think it's very important, right, to take care of ourselves, right? But it's far more important to take a look inside, do that internal work, and make sure that you're finding a balance between those things. you know I think we've listened to something like, I don't think there's balance in success. I do think you need to be
Hmm.
all in.
Yeah.
I really do believe that, but I don't think you can lose yourself in the process. You need to be all in on the big picture.
Well, man, you nailed it. Like, you do need to, and like you said, fitness is not the main part of it, but you need to be all in on yourself. Like I'm looking at my camera tripod right now. There's 3 pillars on this camera, mental, physical, spiritual, If I
Yeah.
pull that mental side of this camera away, it's going to fall down. It's going to
Yeah.
break. Still be a nice camera, but you get what I'm saying? So it's like you need those 3 pillars. If you miss one of those, it's like a foundation of a house. You can't be fully whole as a man or a woman, okay? If you don't have if you don't have these pillars. So, now I look at my life as I get to work out. Like fuck, I'm fit as fuck, man. I'm 1%. I already know that. But I also love the person I see in the mirror because I had to face the demons, man. I stopped running from once. I stopped running to the fitness to save me. And I
Right.
saved myself by facing myself. Now I get to put in work, and because I still love fitness just as much. I might love it more than I ever have
Totally.
because I don't look at it to save the weak little boy that had a fragile ego anymore. I do it to be like, I'm a badass motherfucker. And I tell people all the time, and Miles and I know we do, like people that reach out to us are like, oh, I'm being vulnerable. I feel weak. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt covered in tattoos who's jacked. Being vulnerable is a superpower, bro. That doesn't
Totally,
make
man.
you weaker.
I think that's a very important message to give people too. Is the people that are too insecure to be vulnerable and deliver a message to an audience or to the public or to just people in general are the individuals that are going to hate on what you and I do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're too insecure to do it, so they're going to hate on it, and you know what I'm talking about. You
Oh
know
yeah.
how many messages I get from people telling me that I have, helped them, I've inspired them, I have, whatever it is through my experience, strength, and hope that I've instilled them with some sort of like, confidence or
Self
inspiration or
belief.
motivation, self belief, and it's keeping that to yourself, man. I think is one of the most selfish things you can do. I
Mm-hmm.
think if you have figured out what works for you, how you overcame challenges, how you overcame adversity, and how you ultimately got to the other side of it, and you're just gonna fucking sit there and keep it to yourself because you think it's too arrogant to get on a camera, to get on social media and start helping other people. That's what this is about, man. It's about helping other people. It's about telling them about our experiences. It's about being vulnerable because vulnerability takes courage and it opens the door for others to start speaking about their issues and really start working on them. Because if you can't speak about it, if you can't acknowledge it, if you can't see it, how the fuck are you going to work on it?
I mean, this is a really bold statement, but I would prove me wrong. If you're not willing to be vulnerable, you ain't ever fucking changing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. You're stuck for
Because
sure, man.
your ego is too big to allow yourself to become the person that you really should be. That's it.
Mm.
I've been that person.
Yeah.
I was that person. I hated that person. You know?
Totally, bro. Yeah. For
And
sure. For sure.
it's so true, and what kind of like it's crazy. We live in a society that you go on anybody's page, okay, anybody that like an athlete. I would say 70% of the comments are negative. Like it's cool to be a negative piece of shit now. Like it's our society thrives to hate on things in the comments or you can promote your partying, but you can't promote becoming a better person. Like what a backwards fucking society that is.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the
It's
world we
for
live
sure,
in
man.
because it's
It's a
easier
crazy time, dude.
to be
Yeah.
negative and a loser. It's easier to sit on the sidelines and criticize. It's easier to hate on other people than lift other people up. Way easier. But that's how ass backwards it is. I heard someone was just like, oh, this influencer helping other people. I'm like, wait a second. Hold on. Are you hating on someone that's trying to help people become a better person? Like, bro, I'm sorry life's got you down so bad. Doesn't have to be that way. But holy shit,
No
what a
doubt.
low level way of living. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Take the
That's even the
time and take the time and energy out, you know, out of your day to go to like go
we'll
and
catch each
hate
other.
on
We'll
somebody
be like,
that's trying to make the world a better place. You know what I mean? It's yeah, it's wild, man. 100%. I've been like I've talked about it numerous times. I'm like really getting engaged in my. You talked about those three pillars, right? And spirituality being one of them. Today's Sunday. I was at church today, and it's like I was always very like resistant with that. I didn't want to invite that in because it was also one of those things where like oh like I don't want to turn people off. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like that Bible thumper or like talk about Jesus, talk about God, and like you know because for some people it's real uncomfortable, man. But it's like that's the demons in the world, that's the demons that you know people are engaging in that are uncomfortable. You start talking about these things and it starts rubbing people the wrong way. It's like you know they're not ready to start engaging. Like the word, the Bible, God wants good for you, period. All the blessings in my life, everything that has happened in my life, everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, all the adversity, this path has been laid out for me, and there's no mistake in God's plan, and he wants good for me. And the second that I started living in line with his will for the purpose that he created for me, and I started living in line with that, dude, the blessings are tenfold, man. My life is phenomenal. I live with a peace of mind. I wake up every day with purpose. I'm not engaging in those demons and falling the wrong way, right? It's an incredible journey, man. If there's one thing I can give to people or say to people that I would like for them to take away, man, is like you got to start engaging and believing in something bigger than yourself, man. He talks about like Jesus died for our sins. Like if God is able to forgive you for your sins, what makes you think that you're so fucking great that you can't forgive yourself? You're sitting here, beating yourself up, sitting in self pity and guilt and self sabotaging day after day because you can't forgive yourself for the bullshit in your past because you can't let go. Man, you've been forgiven. It's time to fucking move on, man. It's time to move. You don't need to be your past. You don't need to live in that anymore, man. God is great. He wants what's good for you. And I'm telling you, man, it's you know, I just love those sayings. You hear a lot like, God willing, this will happen for me. God willing, this is going to work out. And because really it is all part of God's plan. But I believe, man, I start living authentically through his will. There's no losing, man. You can't lose.
yeah, and it's I'm just listening and like I'm the kind of person that's I believe in a higher power,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, we've talked, right? We're in
yeah.
different parts of that path
But
right
you know
now.
what I
And like,
like? I'm the kind of person that's like, if you find what works for you spiritually,
yeah.
hey man, and I mean like you genuinely believe that.
Mhm.
That's that's awesome. Literally, like that's like
Totally. I agree.
if you find your thing and like it actually like deep down if it actually works for you, like is that and if it actually works for you, that's your thing, man. Straight up,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
don't question anybody's thing. I guess, yeah, man. Like, yeah, I had a talk with someone today. It was actually my wife's friend, and we were driving back from the beach and just talking. Like, I was like, hey, I know I talk a lot about like, quotes and personal development. I'm always just spouting off because, like you said, I know what's changed my life, man. I know what has changed my life, and like you said, Miles, it's like it would be a sin not to give it to other people because like
Yeah.
if I could just show you how good I feel, like you're telling me, like a lot of people's problems, number one, aren't that big. Seriously, when in the grand scheme of things, don't get me wrong, there is people out there in other places in the world in North America that have real life fucking problems.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're living in North America, a lot of them are like a lot of the one I hear all the time is drinking. Okay,
Mhm.
well, and the conversations that come up with it, and it's crazy, right? Because everyone's worried about their friendships and, what do I do when I don't drink? And all the answers are so clear. Like, if you just stay true to yourself, and that's what I'm talking about this, and what you believe in, like, man, if no one can force you to do things, believe in things, or touch, I don't fucking know. But if no one can force you to be someone else other than yourself, man, you can't. That's how you believe in something because
Totally.
your feelings are so strong about your life and your own universe or your surroundings, your wife and your family, that you can't be persuaded to do shit that makes you feel less than, to feel unworthy, to feel depressed, to feel anxious, because all that shit is, the devil. And I'm not speaking religiously, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that's what all that shit
There's
is.
a good and an evil, man. You and I
Yeah,
know there's a good
yeah,
and a fucking evil in this world, man, and we have engaged in both. So there's a black and a white. There's a good and a
and
bad, man. And we've
crazy.
been bad. We've been bad motherfuckers, dude. We've done
Oh
bad
yeah,
things. I have hurt people, and I've done things I'm not proud of. And I know you. I know you're the same, brother. So
tons.
yeah, for sure, man. There's most certainly a devil, and it's fuck, it feels good to be on the other side of it and the chaos and like there's no drama. I don't have any crazy drama in my life anymore, man.
Dude, listen
I
to
go to
this.
sleep with a smile on my face, dude.
You hear this saying, and it's like, this is what I always hear. Well, it gets a little lonely, or something like when you're chasing your goals. Dude, do you remember how lonely you felt? Like when I was in my like fucking doing blow, I'd never been more alone. I had never had more people around me in my life, and I'd never felt more alone in my life than when
Yeah,
I was running away from my life. And that doesn't like, sure, you're gonna lose people, and you're gonna but you'll gain even better ones in the long run that actually align with you. But that whole like, oh, what if I like have to move on from this person or be alone? I like, man, when I was living a life that didn't serve, like wasn't who I actually wanted to be, Dave, I was so alone while I was surrounded by so many people. And if and if you're listening, yeah, and fitness was my outlet. Fitness was my savior at a lot of times. But man, was I alone. And I think that's such a because it was just, that's looked at as in a life that's like you're gonna be lonely. But man, when you're living a life that's not true to you, and like we're talking about, and your beliefs, that's the loneliest life you'll ever live.
yeah, no doubt, man, for sure. Yeah, it sure feels good, man, to get up and feel like you're on the right path. You have a sense of purpose, that what you're engaging in is a righteous act. Like what we're doing is a genuine righteous act, and the value that we're giving, the messages we get, man, from the clients, like the engagement in the group is phenomenal. These guys are talking every day. It's a brotherhood, man. It happened the other day. We had a new client, went through the intake process, introduced him to the group. For the listeners that are listening and don't know, the All in Effect is a performance coaching program that Dave and I run. And, we do weekly Zoom calls. We talk about mindset. We talk about habits and creating, the character that's required in order to succeed. And we had a new member come in, and everyone just welcomed him, open arms, and talked about how impactful the group has been for them. And it's been a matter of months. We're just getting started. And Dave and I will send messages to each other just being like, man, like this is genuinely helping this person. This is genuinely changing their life. Like how good. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's a perfect example, dudes. We have one of our members has been killing it. Like, you know what I mean? He wakes up in the morning, he's motivated, he's killing it. Like every day, this guy doesn't miss. It's like, damn, he's an easy client because he's happy all the time and he's killing it. But then we're like 3 months in, and all of a sudden he's hitting some resistance and he's feeling a little down and he's missing.
And he
And
quit.
it's
He
like,
quit before. That was the exact time, in about around 90 days. And this is, Miles, why we do what we do, because diets, they'll come and go. You'll fuck up on them. And if you don't have a brotherhood of more than yourself, honestly, to hold you accountable, like, and Brian, listen, I know he listens.
yeah,
You inspire other people around you. So
totally.
he wanting to quit like that, and he said, like, man, previously I just folded in the towel because, dude, everything's easy for honestly 3 months, even though most motherfuckers can't even do 3 months of
For
anything in
sure.
your life. That's easy. It's when it's like, you get to that 6 months, you're right out the beginning, you're fired off because momentum will carry you a little way. And then discipline comes in. But then you need to find a brotherhood of people, womanhood, whatever the hell, I don't even know what the word is for that, but you get what I'm saying? A girl
Yeah,
gang,
you need a
whatever.
community, man. You
You
need a
need a
group.
community that works together, so you have a reason to wake up, to be the person you want. And watching Brian, man, and a lot of the guys, Dave, or like how
Yeah,
they like
Dave.
watching
Yeah,
these guys with their relationships being like, wow, our wives are hanging out again, and they're like, it's man, if you're, and guys, these are people that have been down and out just like Miles and I have. First of all, like, they're no different than us. But like when they came in, they're like, seeing the changes, man, is what gets me up in the morning. And
And
that's
yeah,
why we,
what I love about this too, Dave, is like you just talked about the relationship part of it. You and I are both in a relationship, and it's like you've been in one longer than my relationship, my current relationship, and but this is the most fulfilling relationship I've been in because I'm in such a solid place myself individually. That I've made mistakes in the past, and like Emma will say to me, like, Miles, like, are you sure you're not going to engage in those behaviors? Are you sure? And it's for the first time, it hasn't been about like, I'm not going to go out and go party. I'm not going to go stay out and not tell you where I am. I'm not going to go hook up with someone or go, get loaded. And it's not, but if for the first time, it's not for them. And that's been the biggest difference is anytime I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be committed. I'm not going to do it. And I'll do it for you. It was never for me. The difference today is that it's for me, and I'll tell her that. I said, you know what, you don't need to worry about that because I'm never going to be that person again, and it's not for you. I'm sorry, I love you. It's not
yeah,
for you though. It's for me, and because I don't want to be that person, and I'm not going to fall into that behavior, and I'm never going to engage in that again. I'm not going to slip. I'm not going to buckle, and it's been a big shift, man. Doing things, it's got to be for me. I got to be the best me first. I got to love me, man, before I can love anybody else. And this has been the first time in my life that I've been able to be in a relationship and genuinely love myself and the man that I see in the mirror every day. And it's there's no dramas, man. There's no dramas. It's phenomenal. And I know you're in that place too. It's like I see you and Ash, and I talk to you guys every day. and
dude, I've been there. You're hitting so many chords. I'm like,
yeah.
relationships I've been in, and it's like, man, when you're doing it for the other person, don't get
Hmm.
me wrong. I love
It
my
only
wife more
lasts so
than
long.
anything in the world. Anything in the world. I love my Ashley more than anything in the world. But when you're doing it for the other person, that's the insecure part. That's why I always went out and I didn't love myself. When you're doing it for the other person to validate you and be like, I'll stay with you if you don't do this,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
that's not real love, man. Seriously. If two partners work on themselves separately, and codependent, because I think codependent sometimes gets a bad word. People are like, oh, you guys just spend every waking moment. I love my life. I fucking
Yeah.
love, dude. My wife's my best friend. Seriously.
Yeah.
I used to
That's
think that sounded
awesome.
corny. I give a
Love that.
fuck straight up. Like she's the one person, but it's like I also love myself too, and I don't need her to tell me all the time, even though she does. But
Yeah.
or maybe she doesn't. I don't know, babe. Maybe you don't. But um, it's like But just thinking about just man, listening to you say that, it's like so funny because it never works. It never works when you try. You will. Number one, it will never work what you're trying to do. So say I'm trying to go to the gym more for my wife. That won't work. And guess what?
Totally.
Then you know what else won't work? You won't actually feel good either. You'll actually feel that little, that not good enough will get multiplied because A, you were trying to do it for them, and B, it didn't fucking work. So you just 2x'd yourself,
Man,
motherfucker.
dude,
So
this is, yeah, we're hitting points here, dude. It's like, I don't know. It's different. I used to always struggle with like integrity and honesty in a sense of I would try to like avoid the awkward conversation just to, because it's not going to bring any value to our relationship because like a perfect example, yesterday I was at the grocery store and I bumped into my ex. And it's like I very easily, I said hello, wished her the best kind of thing. There's some agitation, and because we had a bad break and a bad past, and it's like it is what it is, right? So then I get in my vehicle and I'm coming home, and I'm like, do I even bother telling Emma? Do I even mention it because it's just going to bring up like, and I'm like, no, you know what? Like, I haven't done anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I went to the grocery store. I crossed paths with somebody that I used to have a relationship with. Like, okay, I haven't done anything morally wrong. I come in and it's like I want to be transparent. This is my other half. I spend every single day with this person. I love this person, and so I come home. And man, it was met with just complete understanding. It wasn't an awkward conversation at all. It was just like the appreciation of just being transparent and honest about things. like it's just, man, it just feels I'm so much more like secure in myself, I think, and just knowing that, as long as I'm doing the right thing, it's okay to be transparent. It's okay to be open. It's like I'm good with me today, and it feels good, man.
Well, you're not hiding anything, right? You're not.
Yeah.
You're not. There's no fake. You know what I mean? You're not. There's no skeletons in your closet, man. So that's why your love is pure.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
You know,
totally, brother. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a crazy game. This thing, love, but it's not actually that. It's like the same thing. When guys are like, buddy, coming like, hey man, I'm struggling with my sex life. I'm like, okay, and it's like, what are you doing? You watching porn?
Hmm.
Are you, she's not, I'm trying to get in the bedroom and it's nothing really. I'm like, well, like, okay. And then it's like, it's always, it's always their fault, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? Are you, you getting any foreplay in there? Or are you just spitting on your hand and, you know, you fucking trying to, oh,
No,
geez, I
but
wonder
it's
why
true.
she,
It's true though, man. It's like
are you watching porn or you like, you watch porn all the time and that's why you have no sex life. Like, are you just like, are you doing anything to make this relationship better? And then it's like
totally.
this, oh, oh yeah. I bet you didn't think about that fucking part, did you? It's usually not
Man.
all the other person.
Yeah, that's so true, dude. I was very fortunate too. Like in treatment, it was we had this like SLR class, sex, love, and relationships, and we got to really dive into, especially, dude, for like you guys like you and I, Dave, like, dude, like always say like that A-type go-getter mentality, work hard, play hard, with the, life of the party, good times, and like engaging in all those behaviors. You name it, dude. The drugs, the alcohol, the women, the pornography. Man, I've been ripping around up for days, riding my Harley, hooking up with like living that life, and it's like it's one of the most empty places, man. It just is just the most empty, insecure place. You look at that and you think that's that looks fun, looks like a good time, right? It's probably the most
Gives me anxiety
chaotic
just thinking
time
about
of
it.
my life, man, for sure. But what they started talking about in these classes, these SLR classes, about intimacy. And for guys like you and I, it's like, you think intimacy is like sex, right? We're talking about sex. And it's, intimacy starts, it's the way you dress, man. It's the way you move. It's the way you talk. It's about everything that starts happening in your day, right? And I have found that living my life authentically and genuinely, that the connection, that intimacy, that connection with your partner, being able to look them in the eye and know that you can trust this individual, that you can laugh, that you can give them feedback and it's not going to be taken the wrong way, that you guys can communicate well. The intimacy on the surface level of everything it just makes the physical aspect of everything so much better as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're bang on. I think we're gonna definitely get into the little relationship side, maybe a little bit one of these next episodes. Um,
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I'd love to, for sure.
we're at the 40-minute mark, guys. We are gonna I like we're gonna continue on this in one of the next few episodes. We're just relationships in general, and yeah, great chat, bro. As always,
As
as
always, brother.
always.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, as we tee it up here, you guys, I think, yeah, we touched on the supplement side of things. The podcast every Monday, you guys. We're Sunday here. We're going to be recording every weekend. We put them out every Monday, so you guys can find us on YouTube at the All In Effect. Find us on Instagram at the All In Effect. And if you guys have any topics, anything that you guys would like to hear, just hit us up in the DMs. We're happy to talk about anything and everything, and we're always here for feedback. So hit us up with a message, and we look forward to
Open
talking to
book.
you guys next week. Let's
Let's
go.
go.